My name is George Gaymarani Pascoe. Usually I'd prefer Gaymarani because that's originally given by my grandparents far before I was born. But I've got a stolen generation background, which I was assimilated back in the 50s and 60s. My boarding school was the school, you might say, was under welfare regime. We were simulating their system, and we were brought up into that system, but not until on 1972. That's when the whole changes to Northern Council had to come to a place in history for us. We then were driven back, not driven, we were heading back to our homelands where we would claim our own sovereignties as the rightful people of the country that we own. From then on, we picked on up until now. And all of these years that I grew up, and my first job was as an 18-year-old was a school teacher. I'm now a retired teacher after 25 or almost 30 years of my teaching. Just completed my postgraduate. I was inspired by those Africans who became the first nation to have an African president. From then, I realized how important they fought through their assimilation and apartheid. I was deeply involved and interested in that particular area when I started to gain my strength in that particular area and fought for my people's right for almost 25 years of indigenous rights or justice for indigenous people. I started out with smaller groups and re-educating them, but that I didn't get too far away. And then I just continued on, completed my graduate degree. And then from then on, I realized how important that I was an important person in that area to try and re-educate them that our sovereignty is based on the First Nation. From there, I took that position as a retired teacher when the intervention came in. When the intervention came in, that's where my strength came alive. And the right kind of, you might say, position came to me is I stood for my people, regardless of anything. And I said very strongly that racism on the intervention was based on the welfare regime. It was to assimilate them back into the system. And I've used the logo very powerfully, and I still use them. It's when the Chief Protector Neville from WA said, let's distinct indigenous people as a dying race. Let's distinct them as a dying race, or let's distinct them as indigenous people as a dying pillar. Now that gave me the strength to continue fight on. The whole issue about fighting is that I want to claim my sovereignty. This land doesn't belong to anybody. This land even doesn't belong to the crown, the British monarchy. It is the people who lived here. 40,000 years, we still have an indigenous constitution. Our constitution is based on the law, and I'm not a British subject. I'm a subject of my own Ngara law, the constitution. From the beginning, the birth, until now. And here I am. I'm not a sovereign. I'm a sovereign nation. I come from this country, and I am not a British subject.